Okay, so now let us go ahead and what we're gonna start with our custom object. This is going to basically create images or download images lazily. And what I mean by that is we download, we get a URL, right? And we use that URL to access the image over the internet, but we want this running in the background so that it doesn't block the MainQ for one. The other thing that we want is that we want it to um, behave in a way where it's going to be in a table view, which means that we may scroll when it scrolls into view, it's downloaded, right? When it scrolls out of view, that cell is recycled. It's no longer being used. When we come back to that cell, we don't want to download it again, right? Just like the lazy property, we want access to the image that's already there and it will be stored in cache. Okay. And I'm going to demonstrate how that happens. That's what I mean by lazy, right? Instead of re-downloading the image that we already download, we merely pull it out of cache to display it, right? So it makes our app run smoother. It uses less resources, and we are not blocking the MainQ. So here is our object. I'm going to say new file. Yes, my phone is trying to ring and I don't care. And when I create a new file, what I want is a UI image view, right? UI image view, right? And I'm going to call this custom image view. View, custom image view. Okay. And it will be in my custom objects directory. Oh, by the way, if you want to, you can go into you can download a project and get started from where I'm starting from so that you don't have to build yours from scratch. Okay. The link should be in the description, right? So yeah, here we go. So I'm gonna get rid of this because I don't need that. So now we have our class called custom image view that implements UI image view protocol. Okay. Or inherits from UI image view. It inherits from UI image view, my bad. So I want this to this have a property. Give me a second. Yes, I have to give me a drink of water. I have a property and it's going to be an image cache, right? It's going to be empty, of course. So here we're going to do private let image cache equal ns cache ns cache ns cache. Our key should be any object and the value should be a UI image. This is what we're gonna pull if it is in here. Okay, that's our property. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create a function called load image, and we're gonna call this load image. We're gonna pass it a URL string. URL string. This is a type string, right? And we don't want to return anything. Okay. And then we're going to say we're going to do this. We're going to put this all on the MainQ. Okay. Dispatch main.async. And the reason why is because we are completely just this is one part where we're gonna block the MainQ in this little section. And I'm gonna show you how it works. Okay. But just trust me, you might say, huh? Block the MainQ. You'll see. Okay. Dispatch queue dot what main dot async. Again, I went over this in the last lesson, so we'll check it out. Self dot image, because there's an image property, because it's an image view. We inherit from the image view. Okay. And we're going to set this equal to nil. Why? Because in case there's an image, we want the image cleared out. Period. Then I'm going to say self dot image equals UI image. Okay, so let's see, UI image. System name. And let's go into our SF symbols. I just want to pick something that's going to just to be our background, right? So this is what I'm gonna use this one. Yeah. Copy name. Paste window casement. Okay, so now what I need to do is I'm getting a URL string. I need to unwrap it or make sure that it's there, right? Or actually, I have to make sure that our URL is here, right? So yeah, basically I'm going to get an optional. Basically, when you create a URL from a URL string, you aren't sure if you're actually going to get one, if it's going to be valid. So you have to unwrap it because it could be nil, right? Or that URL equal URL. Why is this doing this?
That's not nice.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. Okay, here we go. URL string URL struct, and of course else. Now when I do this guard statement, I am doing fatal error. I wouldn't usually do this, and it's something that's part of an actual code base, but this is for demonstration purposes primarily, just so you guys can wrap your heads around these concepts, right? So now I have an unwrapped URL, not a URL string, but an unwrapped URL. And now I'm going to use this URL to access my cache and see, or as URL string to access my cache and see, well, is there an image associated with this URL string? Because again, in the URL NS cache works kind of like a dictionary, right? You have your key, and that allows you to access the value. Same thing with this, with cache. You have a key, as a result, you access the value. So I'm going to say this: if let cached image equal self dot image cache, right? Dot object for key, which is URL dot absolute URL or absolute. It's not absolute URL. Yeah. As any object. Okay. We want this to end if it is the case. And then we're going to say, yeah, self dot image equals cached image. Let's see what's going on right here. Cache image is defined but never used. Okay, yeah. All right. Yeah, Xcode is just a little bit slow on the. Oh, okay. So now we have an image, a cached image. Then we get it and we set our image with that value. But now we have to address the situation where we don't have a cached image. So we say dispatch queue dot global, right? We have a global dot async. And this is where everything's going to run. Let's go ahead and set our quality of service QoS dot user interactive. Okay, this is the second highest priority queue that you can have, right? User interactive. And so now let's talk about getting our data, right? So our let data equal try. Again, I've done try catch lessons in here, right? So right, data contents of this URL. Okay, else. Oh, I hate that. Fatal fatal error. Scarlet error. Okay, no data, right? Let me see what I'm missing, right? Find fatal, because I spelled it wrong. Fatal error. Okay, so that should go away right here. And so now let's go ahead and get our image guard. Let image equal UI image. Data. Okay, else fatal else return. Fatal. Oh God, fatal error. And we're gonna say no image available. No image available. Okay. So we did that. We have our image, and now we want to get a resized image, right? Because again, we're dealing with slow speeds. If you try to download an image, or force so much data, it's just more work. So we want our image to be, we want to deal with an image that is smaller. So let's do less work and reduce the size of this image, right? Guard let resized image, let resized image equal image dot. Okay, so before we go here, let's talk about something. To resize the image, I created a helper. Yes, so I create an extension on UI image. It's called Resize Image 2, and it takes a CG size. That means a height and width. That's it. Okay, and it resizes it to that accordingly. Okay, so we do our UI graphics begin image context with options. Okay, size is a CG size, false and 0. Those are defaults. And then we're going to hit self.draw in CG rect. We add passive size to it. Let resized equal UI graphics get image from context. You know, UI graphics in image of context. Now I have a resized image. Okay, so let me see something. Okay, so now that we have this, let us go back to our custom image view. And now we have this, we have an extension off of the UI image, which is right here. It is called the Resize Image 2. And I want our CG size to be height and width of 80. Okay. Size. Okay. 80. This has to be I can't remember if it's a float or a double. 80. Okay. So we have that. No. Else. Right. Fatal error. Message. And of course, I want to say could not resize image. Okay, so let's see. Couldn't resize image. So and so now that's if we can't resize image, but now we have the resize image, and I want to put this on the MainQ. Okay. I want to put this on the MainQ. So I'm gonna say dispatch queue dot main dot async, right? And of course, look, for the sake of for the sake of illustration purposes, I want to say async after. Because I want to give like a second or two, right? Async after deadline executes, and this should say dot now plus 2 seconds, okay? And the work item, so now do we have this? We're going to say self dot image cache, right? Right, because yeah, self dot image cache, that's the class property, image cache. Why isn't this auto completing? Image cache. Dot set object for key. Object for key right here. And this should be resized image. And the key should be URL, right? Dot absolute string, just like what we checked for here. URL dot absolute URL, I'm sorry, as any object, as any object, right? So now that we have that, and of course, because we don't have this in our cache up here, we add it to our cache here, okay? And at the same time, we're gonna set self dot the image property of this to resized image, okay? And so this should work, right? This is our lazy load image loader. And again, what that means is it goes and it checks to see if the image is there using the URL string, absolute URL as a key. If it's there, if it's not there, well, if it's there, then we set it. If it's not there, then we go on user interactive queue and we start processing. We start getting the data, download the image, create an image, resize the image, and then return that image to the MainQ. And while we put it on the MainQ, we also save this into our cache. And really, that's what it is. So now that we have this, let's go up here and let's create a custom cell, because that's where we're going to use this. File, UI image view. Okay. UI, not UI table view cell, right? And I'm going to call it custom cell. CUSTOM custom cell. And I saved it here. All right. Now I'm gonna get rid of this comment and stuff. I don't even know why they put it here. Right? They're not telling me anything I don't already know. Okay. So using the assistant editor doesn't really work well when you try to use it with cells. It works good with view controllers, but with cells, it's real glitchy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type out the outlet code by hand and then connect these to the controls manually, right? So this is what I mean. Let's create an outlet for the custom image view, which is the custom object we just made. Okay, at IB outlet weak bar, right? We're trying to avoid a strong reference. Custom image view, right? Which was this is the type what? Custom image view, right? And explicitly unwrap it, right? Which of course a lot of people feel is dangerous, right? But that's how you make IB outlets, right? And first thing I wanted to crash if this isn't if the actual custom image view is not there for some reason. Okay, now let's go ahead and create an outlet for we're going to make a name label and we're going to create an address label for name label that is of type UI label. Explicitly unwrap it at IB outlet weak var address label, right, is of type UI label, right? And I want that explicitly unwrapped. So now we have all this explicitly unwrapped. Now let's go ahead and connect it. We're going to do that by going here, right? And first thing we have to do is we have to connect this to our cell, right? So this is our table view cell. You know, again, we created, we made, first of all, we had to have a prototype cell. We added one. And then we go to our cell and we need to make this cell, let me move this over, a custom cell, okay? We have our identifier as cell, okay? And we have to make sure that we're connected, right? We're connected to custom cell, right? Which is the name of our class. So if that works, then we should be able to do this. Go here. Let me go back, okay. Well, I'm missing something, right? Custom cell. And there we go right here. See, name label, custom image view, and address label. Okay. So now what I need to do is I need to go here. Okay. Let me go and let me see something. Okay, so I'm going to add an image view to this cell. So this cell's right here. This is where we are. I'm going to, this is our cell right here. So I'm going to create image view, UI image view. We're going to add this here, but I need to shrink the size down, right? It's too big, right? So right here, and let's do a few things. So I'm going to say this. I want this 10, and I want this 10, right? And then I want the height and width to be 90 on both height and width and 90 for this square. Okay. And let's do it like that. Okay. So now I want this to be, okay, so now, oh crap, go back. You have to be careful too, right? Because sometimes you can mess these things up and your life is crap, right? Lose your life to crap. So, and so that I can get a good view of this, I'm going to set my background from clear to pink, right? Now, what I want to do is add a name label, right? So let's do this. I'm going to say, okay, so let's go ahead and create a label. I don't know what happened. Again, create a label. Okay. And let's do this. 10, 10, 10, right? 10, 10, right? Height. Gonna make height 27 just for the heck of it. And we have this right now. It is regular, medium. Yeah. And I'm gonna make this name. That's gonna be the name of it. So now we have a name label, an image, and let's have an address label, right? So right, so let's do this. I'm going to say 32, height is 27. And I want this and this to be 10 from each side. 10. 10. Actually, I want this to be 20 from the name label. Right, and we'll do it like that. Okay. And so I want this font to be 14. And we'll call this address, ADDRESS. Okay, so now that we have these, let's go ahead and connect these to our outlets. Right. So we'll say cell, go here. Our address label right here should go to right here. See that? And you see over here, the same thing. You can also do this. Name label and go to this over here in this side thing right there. Name label, right? And you can see this is connected. It's connected to these, right? And now the image view, custom image view, right? I'm gonna connect it to this image view and watch this name change. Custom image view to image view. Okay, again, okay, let's go back because it was not cooperating. Custom, oh, you know why? Let me go back. This should not be this. Let's go back here. Class, this should say custom image view. You have to set it to that, right? Set the background to custom image view. It's class. You have to set its class to custom image view. Now, when I go back to cell, and I go here, I should be able to go to custom image view, and then I click on here or here, and I have the outlet. So now I have an outlet, and there we go. So I have access. And when I go back to the custom image view or the custom cell, these are grayed out because now they're connected. Okay. So now that we have this done, what I'm going to do is give you a little bit of time to mill over it because I think this video might be long enough. And we're going to pick up in the next video. On to the next.